Perfect. Okay. Hello, my name is Aisling Humsky and I'm from County Dublin in Ireland. So my project is called Queer Youth Fingal, and it's all about trying to find a safe space for young members of the LGBTQ society in my area. So, like I said, my name is Aisling Humsky and I'm 18 years old and I'm born and raised in the town of Rush in County Dublin. So Rush is quite a small town. We have a population of just over 11,000, which actually in Dublin, in the outer regions of Dublin, is quite large, and a lot of Ireland is quite large, but it still is quite small in general terms. And what it's meant is that there's not a lot of knowledge about big world concepts. So my parents, my grandparents, and my grandparents' parents are all from Rush. I love Rush. It's a small town, but it has a big community. So Rush is part of Fingal, which is a larger constituency. So we are supported by Fingal County Council. That's where our resources come from. But the problem is that there is a lack of facilities for queer youth in the local area, in both Rush and in the larger Fingal. So why is this important to me? So I made my speech when I was in Hampton Rotary on our skill building phase in New Hampshire. I made my speech about being a member as a young person of the LGBTQIA plus community. So I talked about the difficulties of coming to terms with your sexuality and how these are easily exacerbated when young people feel isolated. I don't want others to have to go through that journey alone. So the solution, fixing this problem, will empower queer youth. The solution is trying to build a community for those young people, because it takes a village to rear a child. So we want to try and build a youth group for young queer people to have open discourse about their experiences and meet others like them, so they don't have to go through it alone, so they have that community that they can fall back on and that they're able to look to others for guidance. So the overall setup would take about 6 months. So it's 2 months setting up, that's finding spaces and looking for support off the local county council, which is Fingal. 4 months for the group, it would be once a month on the last Saturday, and the rest of that time would be used to set up facilities and making sure that their activities are looked after. Where there are several local facilities which can be used in Rush and in the wider Fingal, which encompasses several towns. So the Millbank Theatre in Rush County, Dublin, Ferolga facilities, which for those of you who may not know, is basically a youth centre, and those are in Rush, Lusk, all towns within the constituency of Fingal. There's also community centres in several towns within the community of Fingal, which could also be used. So in order to raise awareness about this project, I'd use social media, and I would count having a following of above 30 success in terms of that, because it's meant that we've reached a lot of people outside of just Rush itself. So making sure to make trips to contacting local school groups and also youth groups. So that way the word is out and we can talk to people about their accessibility needs. So if there's a large interest from a different town outside of Rush, we can maybe move it to somewhere that is more accessible for those people who want to come. So finance. So we would ask anybody who came to this group to participate to contribute €2 per session. We've also set up a local giving page, so the link for that is there. The budget would be €30 to rent a room. This is in terms of a community centre room. The average would be €30 per room for a week, or for one day, excuse me, but that would be per week for each month that the session goes on. So it's €40 per week for activities. So that would be art supplies, copybooks, pencils. If, for example, if we were to do creative writing one week and we were to do something along the lines of art the next week, if we were doing collage, something like that, it would be getting supplies for that, or looking for local vendors that would be willing to donate it. So in conclusion, what does success look like? So success would be having 3 groups of 5 at each session. So around 15 people at each session, I would feel would be successful. But also creating a supportive community for young queer people and allies, somewhere where long beyond the project itself, they would still stay in contact, they would still communicate with each other, and they would have those people there to guide them through no matter what was going on, and to relieve that feeling of isolation so they didn't have to go through that feeling alone. They didn't have to go on their journey alone, and they had someone there to help them. Thank you very much for paying attention.